It's amazing because I went back to some 1997 clips of Chuck Schumer. He was totally against immigration. You go back to the State of the Union that I ran from 95, and Clinton was like, no, we absolutely cannot have people coming here illegally. This was a big platform for them until they all came down with TDS. So this was the original meme, just to jog your memory. Remember the mariachi band after the two guys came over and they had a meeting with Donald Trump at the White House, and they went out and did a press conference, and he responded with this.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bull. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, at least for a while, until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Okay, so that was the first one, right? And we should say that there could be mass layoffs right now. Trump and his team have talked about that. They're working on that in terms of Doge things. A lot's on the line, right? First of all, you don't ever want to shut down, but maybe this is an opportunity to clean house in ways that you couldn't have done necessarily otherwise. But that was the original troll. And then last night, he decided to kind of one-up it. Last night, he came out with this. Look at this. Remember how everybody's been talking about those Trump 28 hats? Gavin Newsom's like all upset because he's getting Trump 28 hats. Well, he offered the guys Trump 28 hats and then took a picture of it and then released the picture last night. So just kind of funny. It is an epic troll. He's just kidding around. But apparently the Democrats, they think we should have a sense of humor about Jimmy Kimmel, but they have no sense of humor about this. No, none at all. I mean, Gavin is like freaking out. My gosh. Remember this one from the shorts? He's got no sense of humor.
You think for a second I have 24 Trump 2028 hats. His folks keep sending me.
We do a little trolling. It's called we do a little trolling.
Just a little. Or maybe a lot, okay? Because I'm thinking now, this combined with, wait till you see the newest meme I'm going to show you that he released right after Jakeem Jeffries went on to MSNBC. It's pretty good to complain about how dare he insult me with that, terrible AI meme. But anyway, he put that one out, and then there's another goodie, okay? So there's another goodie coming our way I got to show you, because this is the new meme that he put out last night, late. I don't know what time. I don't watch MSNBC. Maybe the show comes on around 10 o'clock or something. It was pretty late. And Hakeem gets on there to complain about the president putting this meme up, which, by the way, if you think about it, it's kind of funny because they got MSNBC to play the meme effectively. Free media, right? Well, for all 76 viewers. They got CNN to play the meme for all their 52 viewers. And, they had some fun with it in a way that, only Trump could. I'm telling you, they are no match for him. Just no match, at least from a media perspective. Watch.
It's a disgusting video, and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault.
I think I almost feel bad for him, okay? I almost feel bad for him because it's like, they're so serious, and then it's like, boom, oh my gosh, and you can't help but laugh. You really can't help but laugh. I mean, it's a funny meme. I'm sorry. I know it's weird that a president is sending that. Everybody wants to be all prim and proper. He's not that prim and proper, okay? And I think that's actually why people like him. You had the CNN lady. Oh my gosh, she was flipping out over this the day before.
We heard from the president late tonight on his view, I guess is how I would put it, on how the negotiations at the White House went today. I want to get your reaction to what the president posted.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bull. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us.
Is that appropriate in your view?
Look, I think sometimes the president plays with the press like a little boy and a flashlight and a dog. and he's shining the flashlight here and he's shining it there. What he's saying is this offer from the Democrats is ridiculous. $1.5 trillion on top of funding that they already agreed to. That what they're asking for is completely ridiculous. It's disingenuous. And then for the Democrats to sit there and blame Republicans for the plight of rural hospitals is just so wrong. The problems with rural hospitals would be their policy, not ours.
But couldn't the president just say, these demands are ridiculous, and not post a video with Jakeem Jeffries wearing a sombrero and putting that voice over Senator Schumer talking about people of color and immigrants?
I think he said that several times already. And then for them to come and not to make any really serious offer, why didn't they just say, look, let's just talk about these extra COVID-era subsidies, these extra subsidies that are costing some $35 billion a year. Let's make those just for the people who really need them. Let's go back to the original ACA and make this for people under 400%. They didn't bring a serious offer there. Look, in my estimation, Chuck Schumer wants the government to shut down to settle a political score.
Yeah.
Wow. What are they thinking? I mean, you want to settle a political score? I don't know about that. I don't think it's going to get you anywhere. Like, people don't like this. If you look at the polls, overwhelmingly, Democrats and Republicans alike, they don't want to shut down. And now the Democrats are getting blamed for it because they had the opportunity to avoid this. But no, they wanted the $1 trillion to kick in. It was set to expire. I'm sorry, it was set to expire, okay? It was only supposed to be a temporary deal because of COVID. I mean, you spent way too much during COVID. Don't even get me started, for goodness sakes. I mean, the third stimulus check from Joe Biden, the multi-trillions of dollars that we got from Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, for goodness sakes. And then there's Jerome Powell, who's having a field day. He just kept that printing press going all day long, all night long. For goodness sakes, you wonder why we were looking at nearly double-digit inflation on consumer prices. There you have it, okay? And what's happened since Donald Trump came in? Inflation has plummeted. Egg prices going down. Energy prices going down. I'm telling you, this is good stuff. And you'd think the market would have flipped out today on this. It didn't. We'll talk about that some more. But I just get back to what the heck is the left thinking, because they are already in very, very bad condition vis-a-vis what we're seeing in new polls. The Quinnipiac poll, this one blows me away. Only 30% approval. And then, Harry, some of you have seen this. I love this soundbite because a couple of weeks ago when he was looking at the data, he broke it down to, look, they can't compete. Like, the Democrats just can't compete on any of these major issues.
At this particular point, the Democrats are the New Orleans Saints of political parties. What are we talking about? Trust the Dems or GOP more on the economy? Who leads on the economy? Republicans by 7. Immigration, Republicans by 13. How about crime, a big issue for Donald Trump and the Republicans? Look at that, lead by 22 points. So the bottom line is this. At this particular point, the ball may be on the ground, but the Democrats have not picked up the ball and running with it. If anything, at this particular point, it's the Republicans who are running with the ball on the top issues, the economy, immigration, and crime.
Give some context on this. Compare this when Republicans last took the House.
Yeah, let's compare it back to 2022. I think this kind of gives away the game right here. Okay, the GOP is more trusted than the Dems on the economy. It was 12 points in 2022. Slight decline in that lead, but still 7 points. How about immigration? It was Republicans by 3 back in 2022. Look at this. The Republican lead's actually gone up by 10 points. What are you doing, Democrats? My goodness gracious. And on crime, the Republicans were up by 13, and now they're up by 22. The lead, again, expanding by nearly double digits. So whatever Democrats are doing, it ain't working, Kate. It ain't working. Republicans have the lead on all 3 issues.
What's the reason that you are finding so far that's driving this?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's all about the center of the electorate, right? You win with independents, you win overall. And what do we see right here among independents? Republicans still have a point lead on the economy. They got a 10-point lead on immigration. They got a 21-point lead on crime. The bottom line is, when you look at these numbers, Democrats should call their offices, because at this particular point, even if Republicans, or even if the public doesn't like what Donald Trump is doing, they ain't necessarily liking what Democrats are doing. And it ain't just a referendum on one party. You actually have to go out and beat that party. At this particular point, Democrats are not able to beat Republicans. They still lead.
And again, this isn't as Donald Trump came into office. These are numbers from this month.
These are numbers from September of 2020. Right. We still find that the Republicans leading on all 3 of these issues.
Right. It's incredible, okay? So, I mean, you get massive layoffs now coming in government, something that Donald Trump wanted to do. You got the left digging in their heels on this one, saying, well, we're not going to allow this because we want $1 trillion to go to illegals. Now, in fairness, right? Jakeem Jeffries is like, that is a lie. That is a lie. That the federal government can't, even if it wanted to, give money to people who are here illegally for health care. But here's the catch. You see, they dole out the money to all the states, and then the states have the optionality of choosing whether or not to give that money to people who are here illegally. So bottom line is, yeah, it eventually makes its way to people who are here illegally, and this is a big problem for the country, especially as Donald Trump has pointed out, in a day and age where you have more AI, the economy's changing, it's shifting. We don't have the resources to just be importing tons and tons of people and then taking care of them on top of it. That's just the reality of where we are right now. So this is something that I think resonates with the American people. And then, you know, as I look at what could have happened, right, everybody's laughing about my gold dress today, laughing, praising, having some kind of reaction. But, I looked at gold, it was like nearly 4,000 an ounce. And I'm like, okay, it's time for the gold dress. You know, I am a market reporter at heart. So anyway, looking just at what has performed really well. We've got gold today at like 3,900, up 45% year to date. Okay, you knew this was coming. You knew it was coming. Everybody's talking about the gold. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to point out was the success in Bitcoin. So as this news came out, you saw both, it was interesting. They both moved up because that doesn't always happen. And I always talk about these being two kinds of different assets, right? Gold is one thing, Bitcoin is another. Theoretically, they should work in similar ways because they're supposed to be safe havens, but that's not really the case. The reality is one is your sort of standard safe haven, gold, and the other is a play on the future, which is Bitcoin. And so they both went up, which is really interesting. This is a note at 76 Research, my investment research firm. I do encourage you to go over there. Use code word dollar so you can get it for $1 a month. The 76 report, at least for the first 2 months, it goes to $9.95 thereafter. But we did put this note out, and I think it's important to understand also what's happened in the past, right? What happens? Like, do markets freak out when you have these shutdowns? We went back and looked at all of them, and one of the longest was around 35 days, actually, during the Trump administration, and it was between 2018 into 2019, sort of over that December into January. And you can see how the market actually went down, in part in anticipation, but then it climbed right back up. I think this time around, like, people are wiser. They're like, you know what? It'll be under control. We're not that worried. Again, I encourage you to go to 76research.com, use code word dollar, and check that out because lots of good ideas in there for you.